Hey, what's up guys, Benny here, and in this Call of Duty Warzone video, I'm going to teach you on how to rank up your guns in Warzone in the fastest possible time without multiplayer. This is probably the question that I get asked the most, so I've got multiple methods that you can take advantage of depending on whether you're playing solo, playing with some friends, and also based on your skill level as well. But what I can promise you is you'll have all the guns you need fully ranked up in no time at all in the fastest way possible. But first, I'd like to say a massive thank you to the sponsors of today's video, Intel and Lenovo Legion, because I've been looking for a gaming laptop to take with me on the go for a while now, and the Lenovo Legion 7i is exactly what I've been looking for. Now, you know me, performance is very important to me, and I always want to make sure that I've got every advantage possible to help me win games of Warzone, which is exactly why I do these kind of tip videos to help you have the same advantage. And the fact that this laptop gives me desktop quality performance on the go is insane. Firstly, the screen is 144Hz and 1080p, which is going to allow you to take full advantage of its NVIDIA RTX 2080 Supermax Q graphics and Intel Core i7 processor, and play games like Warzone at high frame rates and ensure that you can see your opponents and react in the fastest possible time. The 15.6-inch display also has 500 nits brightness along with anti-glare, so you're going to be able to spot those enemies in Superstore without any problems at all. And if you're like me and make content, it's also 100% Adobe sRGB calibrated, so it's got perfect color accuracy, which makes things look great. The True Strike keyboard also feels amazing with sub-millisecond response time and 1.3mm key travel. Then on top of that, you've also got real-time ray tracing and AI-enhanced graphics thanks to NVIDIA GeForce. And then, thanks to the Lenovo Legion 7i's Cold Front 2.0, 2mm vapor chamber, and 6-point thermal sensor array, the laptop stays cool even with all that power. It'll also charge from 0 to 50% in under 30 minutes, thanks to Rapid Charge Pro. I also think the laptop looks amazing and isn't super bulky like lots of other gaming laptops out there, so I'd like to say once again a massive thank you to Intel and Lenovo Legion for sponsoring this video. And if you want to find out more about the Lenovo Legion 7i, there is a link down in the description below, and you can use code BENNY10 at checkout for a discount. Now, before you get into a game to rank up your guns in the fastest way possible, there's a couple of things you should definitely do and check. Firstly, if you have any double experience tokens, you're going to want to use them before you do these methods that I'm about to show you. Don't waste your double experience tokens when you're just playing a game of Warzone, because you're not going to be able to guarantee a large amount of experience on the weapons that you want to rank up. Also, it's a bit obvious, but make sure you've got the weapons you want to rank up in the first loadout slot, and don't pop the double experience token until right before you've started the match. So the first way to rank up your weapons in the fastest possible way if you're playing solo is the chopper supply run method. Now, to do this, you'll want to hop into a game of Plunder. Now, you want to play Plunder because you get your loadout weapons straight away, so you don't have to run around collecting cash to get your loadouts, and then vehicles and contracts respawn throughout the match much faster than a normal Battle Royale game. Now, the toughest bit of this is getting the helicopter, so if you're not confident on racing players to the first chopper on the map, you can go for one that's a little further away that is less likely for players to go for. But personally, I drop out of the plane at 700 meters away from the chopper, then pull my parachute as I'm around 30 to 20 meters from the ground. Then I cut my chute to land on the chopper while spamming my X button to get in. This pretty much guarantees you always getting the chopper first. Now, once you've got the chopper, you want to grab the nearest supply run contract and just complete them. You'll get 500 weapon experience for every contract you complete, and 1000 weapon experience if you've got that double weapon experience token popped. One thing to make sure when you're doing this is to make sure you've got the weapon you want to be ranking up equipped. Whichever weapon you've got out is the weapon that will get the weapon experience. I've seen so many people have the wrong weapon out and just not get the experience, which can be quite annoying. Now, doing this method, you can normally get around 10 to 12 contracts done a match, but there's a couple of little tricks that you can do to help you out. Firstly, make sure you've got a trophy system as your field order. This will save you from having to pull off some stupid helicopter maneuvers to avoid any rockets that people try and shoot at you. Then my other little trick is you want to make sure you try and get the most contracts finished possible during overtime, because you get an extra 50% worth of experience during this time. So if overtime is about to kick off, sometimes it's better to wait a few seconds to complete a contract for that extra 50% of experience. So in overtime, you're getting 1,500 experience with a double weapon experience token for every supply run that you complete during overtime. This is probably the best solo method to ranking up your guns in the fastest time possible consistently. Now, the second method for ranking up your guns in the fastest way possible is if you're playing with a couple of friends, and that's the Recon contract train strategy. The train in Warzone has an infinite spawning Recon contract that respawns within 45 seconds of completing the Recon contract. When you complete the Recon contract, you get the same amount of weapon experience as completing a supply run with 500 experience during normal time and 750 experience during overtime. And if you've got that double weapon experience token, it'll be 1,000 experience and 1,500 experience. Now, this method you really want to be playing with some friends, because taking the train can sometimes be a little bit tricky, especially if it's early on the flight path. But what you want to make sure you prioritize whenever you do this is grabbing the Recon contract on the train first before anything else, so rush straight for it. Because even if you're killed by another squad going for the train, if you trigger the contract, your team is going to be the one that controls the train contract, because you'll be able to fly back to the train, wipe the other squads, and then start completing the contract. And it's also one of the reasons you'll end up getting more experience potentially doing this method than supply runs, because you'll also get weapon experience for getting kills on other players that push the train. Because you'll get 275 weapon experience per kill and then 450 experience for wiping a squad. So you take down a player that is running solo, you're still going to get 400 weapon experience for that squad wipe. So you can get a lot of experience quickly if you're able to get a lot of kills as well. Now, when doing this, have one of your squad be the person that grabs the contract. Then everyone else in the squad wants to get to the front of the train, because then you're able to get to the Recon contract in the fastest time possible, depending on where it goes. Because if it's at the back of the train, it's super quick to hop off and get to the back, than having to run all the way to the front. But if you do this perfectly, you can complete anywhere between 10 to 15 contracts in a single match, which can be a nice chunk of weapon experience. Once again, just remember to have the weapon you want to rank up out when completing the contracts. The next method I've got for ranking up your guns quickly is best suited for leveling up a few of the more meta weapons in Warzone. And if you're a fairly decent player, and that's racking up kills at Storage Town. Because as I mentioned earlier in this video, you can actually get a lot of weapon experience for getting kills in Warzone, with 275 for a single kill and then 450 for a squad wipe. So if you're able to get 30 kills in a single match, that's between 15 to 20,000 weapon experience a match, which is pretty damn fast. Now, in order to get the most amount of kills in a single game of plunder in Warzone, there's a couple of things you can do. Firstly, you want to land in places like Storage Town, which are normally quite hot, and also have a lot of players going there throughout the entire match. If you go somewhere like Port, there is no chance you'll be able to rack up 30 kills in a single game. Though in Storage Town, it's pretty simple. When you can use the buy station, you can buy UAVs consistently. You've also got an abundance of cash in plunder, so constant UAVs is pretty easy, and most players don't run Ghost either. But otherwise, just spend your time taking players down in Storage Town, and if you're taken out, just fly back down to the outskirts and work your way back in. Something else you can do is try and take people out of the sky before they even land if you're using a weapon like an AUG. It can get you some really easy squad wipes. This might not get you as much experience in a match as the first two methods that we've checked out, but it's probably the method that is the most fun, and it'll also help improve your gun skill. Now, the final method I'm going to show you for ranking up your guns in the fastest way possible in Warzone, which will get you the most experience possible, is a combination of all of these. This is an ideal situation that you'll need friends in order to be able to do, but you're going to get the most experience. Now, you're split into 2 teams with your group of 4. One team will be going to the train to complete the recon contracts on the train, and then the other 2 will be grabbing helicopters to complete supply runs around the map in the time it takes for the recon contract to respawn. This means that there is no downtime at all between completing contracts, whether that's waiting for the recon contract to respawn on the train or whether it's flying to the next supply run contract. Now, you could then go one step further if you had 3 good friends helping you out. Now, 2 players would be doing the recon contract on the train, 1 could be doing the supply run contract strategy with the helicopter, and then you would be picking up the kills in Storage Town. Because whenever anyone on your team completes a contract, everyone in the squad gets the experience. Now, this will allow you to rank up your weapons in the fastest possible time, but would definitely require a little bit more coordination. But those are my main tips and strategies that I've been doing during Warzone to rank up my weapons quickly without hopping into multiplayer. If you have any other tips, let me know down in the comments below, and thank you once again to Lenovo Legion and Intel for sponsoring today's video. But I'll see you in the next video.